What is going on, everybody, and welcome to a brand new YouTube video. Today we have the 2023 Ford Bronco Sport Big Bend Edition. Long name, I know. Today we're going to be going over and reviewing the Ford Bronco and seeing the cool things it has, some of the things it offers, also some things I don't like. So let's start off by seeing what's underneath of this hood. To access the Ford Bronco's hood, you just come right underneath of the dash to where most hood ports are, and you pull not once, but twice. Kind of weird. When you go to open this hood, there's no latch, which is pretty cool. One of the unique things about this car, and you'll be stumbled upon this 1.5 liter EcoBoost engine. With it being so small, it is only 3 liters. That's pretty wild, but it is turbocharged. So I guess that kind of does good for it, I guess. Very small. So we've seen the engine, but we haven't seen the entire walk around of the car. So let's start at the front and work our way around the vehicle. Up front, you have your badge Bronco, pretty sick. I like the white on gray. Then you have these beautiful LED headlights on both sides, as well as fog lights on both sides that you can turn off manually, or you can leave these lights on automatic. Now, the only downside I can see of having this plastic fender here is if you're doing the manly thing Broncos are made to do and you're off-roading, that could definitely get in the way, and it's plastic. It's not an actual skid plate, so if you hit something, that is probably gonna come off or break. But this is a Bronco Sport, not a regular Bronco, so you're probably not gonna be using this for the off-roading purposes. You're using it to look classy in a Bronco. Coming onto the side of the vehicle, we have what I think is one of the most beautiful set of wheels you can get on a modern vehicle. And these are standard. You don't pay anything extra for these. Even if you get the chromies, they're still pretty solid looking. I don't think they're as good as these, but both of them come standard with the Bronco, and you can choose between the two. On the sides, for some reason, you have this little plastic air thing. Maybe it adds more aerodynamicness. I don't know, but it's just there. Serves zero purpose. On this side of the driver's door, you have a keypad to unlock and lock the door so you can enter and exit without the key. Keyless entry. Also on the side of these vehicles are the mirrors, obviously, because you kind of need to see what's going that way. And they come with the blind spot notifications or monitors. So when you have a car that's off to the side or an object, they'll start blinking or flashing to let you know that someone's there. The driver's side as well, you have your fuel tank option thing here, where you put the nozzle in and you refuel. It takes unleaded, by the way. I was never informed of that, so I had to use Google to find that out. So a strange thing about the fuel system where you insert your fuel nozzle is that there's no screw thing here. You just kind of put it in there. There's also no locking mechanism, so you just literally open it. We've made it to the back of the Bronco. Now, you obviously have your badging, you have your window here, which can come out from the trunk completely separate, which I think is a wonderful design. Then you can just open the trunk itself. You have your backup camera, which works flawlessly, even at night. You have your standard Bronco square tail lights. And then down here you have your parking sensors that monitor what's behind you when you're using your backup camera and when you're just backing up in general. Now this side of the Bronco is exactly the same as the other side, minus the fuel cap. But something I didn't point out before is the Big Bend logo that you have there, and depending on the edition you have will be a different label right there. All right, we've seen the little walk around of the outside of the car and what it has to offer. Now let's take a look of the interior of the car. Come on in. Whoa, you're right there now. When you first enter the Ford Bronco Sport, you're gonna be greeted by this beautiful Bronco logo on the steering wheel, which I think is just fabulous looking, as well as a leather steering wheel, leather center console, leather door and panel. Now, like most common cars, this has a touchscreen that offers Apple and Android Auto, but it's Apple CarPlay, not Apple Auto. Apple Auto sounds kind of weird. Now, the way you use Android Auto or Apple CarPlay is you have to have the device plugged into the center console. Otherwise, it will not work. and that is a flaw that I don't like. Now the rest of the center console here and the gauges and gadgets that you get are just standard air conditioning, climate control, your volume switches, and that's really it. Heated seats as well. This is a push start, so you just push the button and it starts the engine. Looking at the steering wheel, we have the horn, obviously. Then you get your cruise control, volume controls, you get your back button that I guess would just go back, and then you have your voice command, which you just hold a button, and if you have Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, the assistant for that device will talk to you through the speaker via right here. You have your normal windshield wipers, blinkers, lane assist on this side. Then you just have your regular window control units here. Now, a cool feature that the Ford Bronco Sport offers and other Broncos is GOAT modes. Now, what GOAT modes do is control the way the vehicle is operating, whether it's a slippy environment, muddy, sand, if you want to be in sport mode, if you want to be in eco mode, or regular mode. You can control that through this dial here, which is GOAT modes. Now, dependent on the Bronco you can have up to 8 or 7 modes. This one has 6, but if you have a higher end Bronco or one of the really expensive ones, you could have possibly all 8, which I guess would only benefit you if you're really like off-roading. For this one, I think it has more than enough. Another cool little feature this car has in the middle is a wireless charger. You just set your phone down and it wirelessly charges, but that does not connect it to the Apple or Android Auto. Moving on to the back of the vehicle, you have 2 seats and then a middle seat. These back seats, like the front seats, are cloth, but this middle seat is leather, as well as the leg part where you keep your legs at. In the back of the front seat, you have zipper pockets for storage on both sides. Then you have a MOLLE system, which is very unique and kind of strange that you have that here. You also get your climate control back here. No knob to control the climate, you just can direct where you want it. Then you have 2 charging ports. An obvious cup holder for an armrest. And that's it for the back seat. Now, what does this trunk have to offer? Because in my opinion, it's a lot. So, when you buy a Ford Bronco Sport, you don't have a massive trunk, but you have enough room where you could, keep someone back here, like me. I can fit back here. So they give you these rubberized mats that are on the base of the trunk here, as well as on the back of the seats, where you put the seats down and then you have these rubber mats that are clippable and can come off. That's pretty cool in my opinion. A cool little feature the Bronco has is these little clips here. Do you want to know what those are for? Grocery bags. You just clip them on in there like so. Then you can take them out. You also get a 12-volt back here in case you want to charge your vape. You have your standard trunk light there, and that's it for lighting back here. Besides, over here you have 2 lights. How do you turn these on though? You come over here and you select this little light switch, and boom, you have lights in the back. Now, when I asked the dealership why that was like that, they said tailgating, and I was like, huh, that's kind of weird. Right, like who brings this to go tailgating? But then they showed me this, a bottle opener on the side of the Bronco. That is sick, dude. Just boop. You can open up your vitamin water with that. So this Bronco doesn't have the trunk tire, spare tire, so you get your spare tire underneath it here. You pull this forward a little bit to allow those prongs to come out. Then you come straight up and you have your spare. Now, I put this here to show that you can keep things on top of here, like this back pad, as well as store things in these side compartments. I'm not really sure what you could store. I have tape and then the snow defroster thing, as well as rope, and none of it is, pushing this up in any way or deflecting it from going down. When you go to buy a Bronco Sport from the dealership, you'll have the option to buy a Ford Bronco first aid kit with the vehicle for a whopping $68 extra. Why did they didn't make it $69? I don't know. Now, unfortunately for me, I had no option but to get this first aid kit with the vehicle because it was already on the sticker price, and I didn't really care about an extra $68 when you're spending over like 30 grand to buy this vehicle. But what's cool about this is it comes with little the MOLLE attachment system, so obviously this is meant to go in your back seat. So this is one of the things I like about the Bronco, and let's get into the other things that I like about the Ford Bronco Sport. We're going straight to that MOLLE system. I love that on the back. You can attach other things back there, as well as a little zipper pocket. I'm pretty sure that's made to support the Second Amendment. Now, for the exterior of this vehicle, one of the things I love about it is the circular LED lights. They are fabulous to look at. The front end of this vehicle is just mean, and I love the way the front end looks. Another thing I like, but also I'm kind of in the middle about, is the side profile of this vehicle. Now, when you look at it, it kind of looks like it's a Range Rover or Land Rover, but when you look more closely and look at the rims and the badging, you can tell it's a Bronco, but you know, you kind of can't tell too much from looking at it from the side unless you know your vehicles. Now, another thing I absolutely love about this car is the Bronco badging on the steering wheel, dude. That is just sick when you look at it. It makes it feel so luxurious, as well as the steering wheel with it. It brings a new feeling to the game. And if I'm being honest, that's kind of it for the things that I like that really boldly stand out to me about this vehicle. You know, the convenience package on it is super nice. That includes the backup camera, the sensors, the leather interior, and the controlled remote seat. Although that controlled remote seat is only on the driver's seat and not on any other seats. And I didn't know that when I bought it until I had a passenger get in. I was like, yeah, you can just press a button and it'll move the seat. It didn't, and there was a lever. That kind of sucks. And that brings me to the next segment where we're gonna talk about the things that kind of are iffy about this vehicle and things I kind of don't like. We're gonna come to the front end of the car to start this off and talk about the engine. It is so small. A 1.5 liter engine, 3-cylinder, that is puny. It sounds like there's no power in that. It sounds like it, but there is. And we'll get into that. Another thing I do not like about this vehicle, and this is the one thing that just drives me insane about this vehicle, is the leather on the center console here. When I sweat and I touch this, it gets disgusting and it doesn't go away, it just stays there. That is just by far the worst thing I don't like about this vehicle. Like, that stands out the most. The next thing about this vehicle is a cosmetic feature that can be changed, and it's this Ford logo. This, just on the back, it stands out and it just makes it look kind of nasty. You can black this out, take it off, but there will be a divot where the Ford badge is. So that is kind of, I don't like that. And that's it for the things I don't like about this vehicle. Let's go drive it. All right, let's get in this Ford Bronco Sport and see how she drives. So when starting, like normal push starts, brake, start engine. There she goes. Put it in drive. There we are. So something that I love about this vehicle, and you can already tell by me driving on this parking lot that looks like it has never been maintained, is that the vehicle is super quiet on the road. Like, you can hear the engine, but you can't hear the road. That's the little 3 cylinders working right now. All right, let's use this GOAT mode. Make sure there's no cars behind us. Let's go into sport mode. Okay. All right, let's gun it. Now my foot's not on the pedal all the way either. that was 80 miles an hour. All right, we're gonna pull into this parking lot and back up, testing out the backup camera, seeing if I can even back into a spot. Because to be honest, who knows? Am I good at driving? Maybe. So to back up into your spot, you put it in reverse. And what's nice is you have these lines here that show you where the vehicle is, but when you turn, you have these white lines that show you where the vehicle's going to be going. I should have pulled up a lot further. And then you have your like distance to whatever the object is. So say you want to be in that white line, you want to be a good distance. I just put the red right on the white line. Boom. Parking brake, and you're good to go. GTG. My final thoughts on the Ford Bronco Sport 2023 Big Bend Edition is that it is a wonderful, fantastic vehicle, a lot in a small package. The engine's tiny, but as you could hear and see, it has that speed. I think the 0 to 60 is 8 seconds, but also it's a 5,000 pound vehicle with a 3-cylinder engine, so be easy on it with that. But you definitely feel it and you can hear it. I love the sound it makes. For the price that you pay for this vehicle, I think you get a ton. For this specific model, you're looking at around $35,000. Now, that is with the convenience package and some other things like the first aid kit. So if you want to spend a little less, you still can and save yourself some money and get basically the same features. Now, I'd highly recommend this vehicle to anyone. I love it, and I'm probably not going to get rid of it for a while. And if I do, it's because we make another video saying, hey, this is me 20 years down the road with my 2023 Ford Bronco, and this is why it sucked. But for now, I like it. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, leave a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, still leave a thumbs up. And I'll see you guys in the next one. I don't really ever make car reviews or reviews at all, so don't hate on me for this video.